Ladies and gentlemen, there is a breaking news that the BIR 7 and the BIR 17 of Burkina Faso just performed one of the best military display at the Ivorian border yesterday. We've not gotten the information. I am really waiting for the Burkina Faso TV. I want to see what they will say about this operation, but we just got the news. It's from our legitimate source that the BR7 and the BR17 actually put on a phenomenal display. And to be honest with you, the commander of the BR7, Watao, that's the man. And that is what really interests me about this information. So we'll be waiting for the number of casualty. We'll be waiting for, how the operation actually went, Wataos units, they always leave a blueprint. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the western, yeah, that was the southwestern Burkina Faso. So, we will be waiting, right? So, remember, I told you some days ago that our brother was going to be fighting tonight, Terence Crawford against Canelo Alvarez. First of all, congratulations to Terence Crawford. That was one of the best fights I have seen recently, in my own opinion. I think this fight, from a technical standpoint, right? Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez was better than Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol. Just because of the level of technicality that was shown, the counter punches, you know, from a technical standpoint, right? I think, and from the IQ, the boxing IQ, I think they really showed a lot in this fight. Um, I think for the Beaver fight, it was more of a fight. It was more of it was rough to an extent. But this fight, I mean, Terence Crawford actually showed that he was better than Canelo, in my own opinion. I don't know what you think. A lot of people say Canelo was the best of this era before this fight, but Bob Crawford was the pound for pound number one. But based on what I saw tonight, Crawford was just on a whole nother level. And in my own opinion, I think Crawford is not on the same level with Canelo. And you cannot make an argument for Canelo that he had already declined, because Crawford is almost 38 years old. He will be 38 before the end of this month, and Canelo is about 34. So the age gap is so ways wide to an extent. So, but we have to give a lot of credit to Terence Crawford to still be fighting at this level, to still be this competitive. You have a lot of boxing pundits that actually, or content creators that actually inflamed Canelo beyond who Canelo was. Because if you've been looking at the previous fights of Canelo, he throws the same combination multiple times. Um, but Crawford really showed me some of the quickest reflex and counter punching that I've seen in a very long time. Crawford is a good counter puncher, but I just thought his counter punching game was on a different level tonight. And to be honest, let's not sugarcoat anything. I think he wobbled Canelo like two clear times. I think he wobbled Canelo. I think he embarrassed Canelo towards the end of the fight, because what he did to Canelo the round 11 and round 12. I kind of felt like Crawford kind of had this feeling like Canelo tend to slow down towards the end of the fight, and he kind of switched it on. And I felt like his corner, they were really telling him to box and all of that. To me, I felt like even if Crawford had, turned it on a little bit more, who knows? He could have hurt Canelo even more, because I saw Canelo, considerably wobbled sometimes, and I felt like Crawford should have gone for the kill the first time he wobbled Canelo, with that left, right, and I felt like maybe Crawford should kind of go for the kill, but he let Canelo off the hook a little bit. But he actually showed that he was the best. It was a clear victory, like no dispute, no dispute. Now he's undisputed in three weight class. I think this is the first time we'll have this in the history of boxing. And I mean, I'm just so proud of Bud Crawford. I'm very very proud of him. He's on. Is see. Let's be honest. From the boxing standpoint, from talking about who the complete fighter is, Crawford is in every department more complete than Canelo. And I love the arrogance he showed in the ring tonight. You know, it came to a point he actually went down to the phone booth and he actually got the best of Canelo on the inside. He was better than Canelo on the outside. I mean, to be honest with you, and what's Mas Kellerman tried to do at the end of the fight, talking about maybe Canelo had declined a little bit. You know, that is the thing you have. That's the double standard, right? Because I felt like if Crawford was on the side, if he was to switch place with Canelo, they won't be talking like that. There would have been so much insults. But now that it was Canelo, they were like, okay, maybe Canelo was is no longer the same. Canelo told Kellerman straight away that it's still the same Canelo Alvarez, but he said Crawford was just, you know, a very very great fighter, and I respect Canelo for telling that truth right there. You know, like I said, much respect to these brothers for, you know, making all of us proud, and he gave me a reason to watch boxing once again. Thank you guys. It was a great day. You can also drop your opinion on what you think about the fight. You can also drop your opinion in anticipation to the news about the Burkina Faso Rapid Intervention Brigade 7 and 17, you know, under the command of Captain Wataos for their heroic display closer to the Ivorian border. I will be waiting, and as soon as I get the news, we get the evidences, you know, the weapons, the bodies, and everything. I will be dropping it for you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do me a favor. Before you go, you can hit the like button. It doesn't take anything. Just hit the like button. Even if you're not feeling generous to drop a comment for us, you can just hit the like button. It's all we're asking. Thank you for watching and God bless you. Much salute.